become a pussy-whipped Brady Bunch version of itself. Done by a bunch of robed sissies.
How we doing, peeps? Daz here for Normal in My Day. Well, today we've got a special video. This Saturday is the United Kingdom March, and Piers Morgan's had on his usual panel of people that either agree or disagree. So we're going to watch this today and break it down. I've got my cup of tea ready. Beautiful British tea. Okay, let's get into the video, see what's going down.
All guns blazing, ready for next Saturday. 7 days to go, and then the stress can end.
The credibility of Tommy Robinson and the damage that he does in America about the reputation of this country and London all being overrun by Muslims, and everyone swallows it in America.
I'm fully 100% behind these rallies. I think that they need to remove the Muslim element from the UK altogether. That's what I would advocate
what are you talking
for. Yes,
about?
that's correct.
If you don't think that Britain has a Muslim problem today, you're an elite and you don't travel and you don't know working class people and you've never been to
You've no idea who I hang out with. You haven't got a clue, man.
Go there, use your eyeballs.
No one likes
What we've got in the United Kingdom is lots of different cultures imported into this country, not homegrown.
Ben, am I right in thinking that all your family then were all homegrown, going back centuries?
No, I'm not suggesting that from.
Well, where were they from?
My father's Pakistani. My mother is English.
So none of your family are homegrown.
Why are me and Ben fighting right now? What's happening? That makes sense. I feel like I want to fight Ben right now.
Sod off.
This happens throughout the whole thing.
Two massive
Everyone
rallies will
starves.
take place just 1 mile apart in London this weekend. In all senses other than geography, they couldn't be further apart. Tommy Robinson's Unite the Kingdom march is, he says, a fight for national identity. The March for Palestine, on the other hand, says it's fighting racism on the far right. It's an extreme representation of the growing division in the country, which feels like it's becoming more extreme. The two big winners in last week's regional elections here were populists on the far right and far left. Nigel Farage's reform made historic gains, but so did the Green Party, which doesn't talk much about the environment anymore, but is the loudest voice against what it calls Israeli apartheid and genocide. Several Green candidates were suspended for spreading anti-Semitic conspiracy theories. A victorious Reform candidate said Nigerians should be melted down to fill potholes. Both parties, nonetheless, delivered such a crushing blow to the Prime Minister that he might not survive, and both parties will be very well represented at the two competing rallies on Saturday. Previous pro-Palestine rallies have resulted controversially in hundreds of arrests. This time the Prime Minister's focus appears to be on the other side.
And you'll see it again on Saturday at a march designed to confront and intimidate this diversity and this diverse country. That is why this Labour government will block far-right agitators from travelling to Britain for that event.
So you have free speech, as long as your free speech doesn't go against what they want you to say.
Because we will not allow people to come to the UK, to threaten our communities and spread hate on our streets.
Well, Tommy Robinson spent months courting support from many MAGA organisers and influencers, as well as making high-profile trips to Israel. Broadcaster Glenn Beck will be joining the rally, while others, including Colombian racist Valentina Gomez, have been denied entry. You might ask why, on both sides of this apparent battle for the soul of Britain, there's such a fixation on everywhere other than Britain, from the Brits marching against Israel to the Israel-backing Americans telling us how to be British. And that's always been my suspicion about extremes, whatever side they're on. They say they're fighting for your interest, but they're often fighting somebody else's. Here to debate this is the host of Crucible, Andrew Wilson, Ava Santini, the political editor at Politics Joe, a Green Party activist and Birkbeck University Associate Professor Ashok Kumar, and Ben Habib, leader of Farage's rival Advance UK, and the co-founder of Vice Media and the Proud Boys, Gavin McInnes. All right, well, welcome to you. It's certainly a perfect panel to debate all this. Ava Santini, there are these two marches, I believe fundamentally in free speech. That includes the right...
No, you don't, Piers. You believe in your speech.
...to peacefully protest and to peacefully march and protest if you see fit. Do you have an intrinsic problem with the Tommy Robinson Unite for the Kingdom march?
I'm going to surprise you and say no. I am actually very pro-protest, and I think that any protest that people would like to hold, I do think should be granted in the United Kingdom. If you want to turn up and make a fool of yourself and spout racist nonsense, then that is your right to do so, because we live in a democratic society and a country that does allow that. I'm actually really interested in something you brought up in your introduction there, Piers, because you talked about the number of arrests that had allegedly happened at a March for Palestine rally. Actually, if you look at the Tommy Robinson rallies over the last couple of years, there have been a whole number of arrests. Just last September, there were 20 officers who were injured because people were throwing bottles at them. There was an officer with a broken nose. I mean, can you imagine that, smashing up a policeman's nose? It doesn't really seem very patriotic to me. But again, if they want to be idiotic and act like that, then fine. It's not.
But what do they have to do about numbers of arrests? None. Okay, so there were some incidents. Do you not think them incidents were with the opposing marches? The people who stand up to racism, even though Tommy's never said anything racist. Please go back and check his entire history. Never said anything racist.
And to be clear, on the Palestine march, should anybody have a banner saying, or a chant that says "Globalise the Intifada," for example, what would you feel about that?
I'm not a theologian, so it's not something that I can really speak to. I understand that the Jewish community have expressed upset when that phrase is being chanted. I actually think there are much bigger things to worry about on those marches at times. I think there have been a couple of people who have showed some anti-Semitic tropes, and actually, thankfully, the March for Palestine group have kicked those people out and have been very forceful about them not attending.
But that phrase, the globalised intifada,
I would say, I think we get really distracted by this phrase. You know, people who go on these marches are not going on these marches because they don't like Jewish people or because they do actually want to see, I don't know, an Islamic regime in the United Kingdom or whatever ridiculousness the right wing are peddling now in this country. They go.
What's ridiculous about it? What is ridiculous about an Islamic takeover? We're watching it happen all around the world, in all different countries.
Because they do not like British taxpayer money being spent on bombs that are being sent to Gaza and potentially killing children. That's what they don't like, and that's where our focus should be.
Okay, Andrew Wilson, your response to that?
Well, that's not really true. They're not. It is true in a sense that they are anti-Israel and anti what's going on with Gaza and all that, but they're not really turning out for that reason in the UK. They're turning out because they're saying that the other side is racist. They're saying that Tommy Robinson's protest is a bunch of racists. I mean, you can read article after article of the opposition saying this. So I'm fully 100% behind these rallies. I think that they need to remove remove the Muslim element from the UK altogether. That's what I would advocate for. Yes, that's correct.
What are you talking about?
Remove the Muslim element.
Well, hang on, just to clarify.
It means no more mass migration from Muslim nations to the UK. That's insane.
But we have about 5 million Muslims in the UK. What would you do with them?
Well, the ones that are there, you can't do very much about, but you can do something about continuing the immigration policies. It's suicidal empathy. You don't need to do it.
So just to be clear, Andrew, you wouldn't let any Muslims into the country?
Yeah. Well, people have a right. They have an autonomous right to determine who comes into their nation and who doesn't. If the people of the nation don't want a people group to come into their nation, that is their right. Just like it's the right of people in Muslim nations to make those determinations for themselves as well.
Exactly that. See, how many Christian people are welcome in Muslim countries? How many Christians are allowed to pray on the street or do anything of these things in a Muslim country? It just wouldn't be allowed.
I just find that whole thing totally ludicrous. I mean, if you knew anything about net migration to the United Kingdom, it doesn't come from quote-unquote Muslim countries. There are not Muslim people who are breaking into the country and trying to turn it into, I don't know, some sort of Islamic state. Like, it's simple.
There's already Sharia laws working in this country right now. So yes, they are trying to turn it into this Islamic state.
Not happening here, and I really worry about the sort of talking points that you are spouting and potentially you are reading. I mean, I live in London. I've always lived in London. This is not a reality.
Who's your mayor? Who's your mayor in London?
What's actually incorrect though about
Sadiq Khan? Lied repeatedly. Imam Starmer.
Sadiq Khan. And what about it?
Let's look at some more of your leaders.
Hang on, Gavin, I will come to you. Andrew?
I just want to know what's actually incorrect about me saying if the people of the UK do not want any more migration of Muslim immigrants into their nation. Can you give me a single moral argument for why that's
Well, that's simply not true. Well, where have you got that idea? Apart from Tommy Robinson.
If it is.
Look how many seats Reform won on this election. The British public is saying it. They're showing it.
Other than Tommy Robinson, Andrew, honestly, to be honest, other than Tommy Robinson marching around the airways in America saying that, I have not seen any poll in the UK which says the UK people don't want any Muslims coming into the country.
Yeah, I understand.
It's not
but
true.
That's not my question. My question is, if it were the case that the people of the UK no longer wanted Muslim migration into their nation, what is even the moral argument against that? What?
I am very concerned about actually Christian evangelicism that's seeping over into the United Kingdom from the United States. And I think that that is actually a source for much of our discontent. I've always lived in London, and we don't have a single problem with integration between religions in the country. I've never experienced that in my life.
Right,
May I finish the
Go to
point as well?
Harrods
I
and
would
tell me if
just
it's
like to
right.
stay on Sadiq Khan for one moment there. Sadiq Khan has won a landslide victory on his third term. That's 3 times he has been elected.
Because London is majority Muslim country. It's Londonistan.
As Mayor of London. Now, if there was a huge problem with Sadiq Khan, why on earth, with such a huge proportion of Londoners from all creed, all race, why would they continue to
Because
vote him
London's
in?
gone. London isn't Britain anymore.
Where's it gone?
When was the last time you were here?
Where has London gone?
60% of Londoners weren't born in London. They weren't born in the United Kingdom. I think that's the point Andrew's making.
Where's London? Where has London gone?
I
live in
London has
London.
gone to the myth
I live
of
in London. I don't
diversity.
think it's gone anywhere.
No, you don't, Piers. You live in America.
See, one of the most vibrant, dynamic cities in the world.
It may be vibrant.
Piers,
it
go to
may be
Harrods.
dynamic.
Go to Harrods
but
after this and tell me what country you're in.
Where?
It may be. It may be.
Well, hang on.
Harrods.
What was
I'll
that?
let you
Go
go
where? Harrods?
Yes.
Well, actually, that you've now reminded me to play a clip, because you came on my show last week. You then went on, I think, Glenn Beck, and you said this.
Piers is an elite. He's never been to Luton. He doesn't understand the working class. You know, he probably doesn't go to any football matches with these people. He's got his own little box. And they don't understand that the Muslim problem is within the working class. They're not in, Cheddington. They're not in the West London.
Yeah.
They're not in South England. They're all concentrated in Birmingham, in Rotherham, in Luton, and those towns are gone.
Just to clear up, I've been to Luton many times. I go to football all the time. I often sit with regular
Have you
fans.
been to a Luton match?
Hang on.
No one in the stands at a Luton match is from Luton.
Well, I wouldn't go to a Luton football match because the leader of the Luton football hooligan firm for a long time was a guy called Stephen Yaxley, who's now Tommy Robinson. In fact, he has multiple criminal convictions for running.
Why is no one?
Character assassination. Oh, he used to do that. Piers used to tap people's phones.
Well, wait a second, Gavin. Wait a second. I'm responding to what you told Glenn Beck. If you ask why I don't go and watch Luton Town, A, I'm an Arsenal fan and we're about to win everything. But secondly, Luton Town had a big hooligan problem caused by Tommy Robinson under his real name, Stephen Yaxley.
Tommy Robinson is not responsible for football violence. Let's get that one out of the way. Football violence has been around as long as football has. Weirdly enough, it's kind of a sport amongst themselves.
He was the leader
What's the matter with
of the
hooliganism?
hooligan mob.
What is the problem with hooliganism? It's mutual combat. It's a sport in and of itself.
It's not mutual combat.
You're
It's a bunch of Neanderthals
and you told
beating
Glenn
each
Beck
other up and
not
dragging
to
in
go to
civilians.
this rally.
But let me finish my point.
Not to join Tommy Robinson.
Gavin,
that's anti-Britain.
Gavin, I'm going to come to your. Gavin, I haven't even asked my view yet. My point is, I'm responding to what you told Glenn Beck. I go to football all the time. I've been a football fan for 45, 50 years. I regularly stood on the terraces with the working class fans. Let me tell you about hospitality boxes at Arsenal, for example. They're full of working class people who've done well for themselves. Why?
Right there, you see. They've done well for themselves. So they are working class because they've worked hard and they've got themselves some money now. But that is the whole point. You see, now they've got themselves money. They've moved themselves out of the stands and now in the box.
Why you would think over in America that somehow only people who are not working class watch football from hospitality boxes is bullshit. So please allow me to educate you about football grounds in this country. Right? And I'm not an elitist. I went to a state school with working class people. I consider myself working class. My parents ran
Why did you tell Glenn Beck not to meet up
in
with
the south
Tommy
of
Robinson?
England, for God's sake, right? I am a working class man.
Why did you tell Glenn Beck to avoid Tommy?
I'll tell you why I avoid Tommy, because he's an absolute charlatan with a string of criminal convictions as long as his arm. You've tried to defend him. I got to do a thread, you said last year, on all Tommy's crimes. They showcase Britain's madness. Let's go through these crimes. Assault, 2005. Common assault, 2011. Leading a 100-man football brawl in 2011, using a false passport to enter the US, and mortgage fraud. Repeated jailings.
You don't know the background of these crimes. The
I've studied him more than you have.
Example.
Yeah, I've studied him more than you have. Let me finish my point, then you can respond. Repeated jailings in 2017, 2019, most recently in October 2024, not because of his free speech being suppressed, because of his ridiculous film he brought out that you all fell for, but because...
Exactly, for free speech. 100% for free speech. Or lack of free speech.
Actually, he lost a high-profile libel action and was ordered to pay £100,000 in damages after falsely accusing a 15-year-old Syrian refugee of being violent. And then he lied about it in his film, and that was a repeat of the defamation, a breach of the contempt of court, and he went to prison for it. You're all being taken for mugs in America by Tommy Robinson.
I've got to intercede. Whether or not that Syrian boy was guilty of the accusations made against him is academic. The point is that the civil case that was founded against Tommy Robinson was a civil case. And Lord Hermer politicised the whole thing. Lord Hermer being the Attorney General.
So did Piers.
A political appointment.
No, I didn't.
A political appointment ennobled in order to get him into the cabinet, decided to elevate the importance of that civil case to a criminal level. And he can only do that if he can convince himself that that is a matter of public interest. That jailing of Tommy Robinson in 2024 was a political jailing.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it
wasn't. It was there was a court order to stop him repeating his lies about that Syrian refugee.
This is why May 16th is going to pop off.
There was a court order
because of people like you.
Yeah,
there's going to be violence on May 16th.
You're all being sold.
Mark my words.
You are all being
Piers,
completely duped by Tommy Robinson.
And
by the way, let's call him Stephen. His real name is Stephen.
I've studied
He's
the
not
case.
even called Tommy Robinson.
Congratulations.
I've studied the case.
Wow.
I've studied the case. It's got nothing to do with whether or not that Syrian boy was rightfully or wrongfully accused of what he was doing. What it's got to do with is Tommy Robinson refusing to take his film down, and Hermer, a political appointment, interceding, and instead of the punishment typically for breaching an injunction in a civil action is a slap on the wrist, a bigger fine, Hermer took it to another level and threw Tommy Robinson in jail.
Okay, all I can tell you is that Tommy Robinson has a standing invitation to come on this programme, which he's consistently bottled it and refused to do. And I can tell you the reason why. He knows that if we do it here in England and I ask him to repeat his lies about that Syrian boy that you've all swallowed in America, if he repeats them, he goes back to jail. You believe...
Because that's exactly what you do, Piers. You just go on and on and on at him about the lies, the lies. Check out your own lies.
It's his lies. And fall on you.
It's illegal for him to talk about that boy.
Fall on. No, it's not illegal
for him.
He lost a defamation case.
Has made it illegal for him to discuss the case. He lost a defamation
case.
But that was a civil case, Piers.
You literally silenced him.
And you don't go to jail over losing civil cases.
Let me bring in Ashok here. Ashok, look, we're getting slightly sidetracked, but I do think the credibility of Tommy Robinson and the damage that he does in America about the reputation of this country and London all being overrun by Muslims, and everyone swallows it in America. They believe this bullshit that comes out.
People in Britain can see it, Piers. We're watching it happen on our streets.
I'm from England, by the way. I was born in Hitchin.
Really?
Yes.
So have you ever been
next to Tommy.
Have you ever been to
I'm British.
Have you ever been to a Luton Town match?
Of course, yes, I have. With Tommy, and not one person in the stands lived in Luton at the time. They were all expats because they were driven out by Muslims.
Which game did you go to?
Luton is a Muslim town today.
Which game did you go to?
I don't know.
Well, what year was
Some
it?
game.
What year was
Tommy.
it? What year was it?
It was 7 years ago.
Yeah, which league were they in?
I don't like soccer. I'm a baseball guy.
I don't think you went,
But
did
I was
you?
there visiting Tommy, and I was alarmed
I think
to see that you lost your sport.
Same way we don't think you stand with the common man when you go, Piers.
I think you're talking claptrap. You never went to a game with at Luton with Tommy Robinson. All right,
Look it up. It's on the internet. I'm there with him.
I was born and raised in America.
I don't lie.
I lived there for decades. I've lived in London for 17 years now. This bizarre obsession with Americans have with London and saying it's overrun with Muslims is because America has a history
60%. 60%.
of Jim Crow, segregation, the ghetto, something Britain hasn't experienced and London hasn't experienced. After the war ended, they spread out council estates across the city. It's the only city in the world that does that. It's one of the most, we might have a little bit of segregation, one of the most desegregated cities in the world. It's something we should be proud of. And they can't stand it. They don't understand it. They can't explain it. They're like, why isn't it more like America?
Ashok, it's not right, though.
I just think it's sad.
Multiculturalism coupled with mass migration.
These are just buzzwords. We're talking about the empirical evidence.
No.
America's a segregated society. London is not as segregated.
Weirdly, I used to live in Birmingham, and weirdly, we segregate ourselves. You kind of end up with a black area or an Indian area or a white area, not through any means of people just want to be around people that look like themselves. We do self-segregation. It's not a bad thing, but it's also not integration.
Segregated anywhere near as segregated.
We have got segregation right across the United Kingdom. We have got
nothing like America. Nothing like America.
Maybe,
the evidence
but
is
I don't aspire to make the position worse in the United Kingdom.
Why are these European settlers of America complaining about immigration?
Can I just finish my point? What we've got in the United Kingdom is lots of different cultures imported into this country, not homegrown, not part of traditional British culture, having a protected blanket put around them, being celebrated and promoted with our British culture being set aside. And these people are operating often in cultural silos, absolutely at odds even with each other. So, for example, when there was a cricket match, Piers, I know you're a cricket fan, when there was a cricket match between Pakistan and India, rival groups of Hindus and Muslims in Leicester went to war against each other over a cricket match where England won.
Hang on.
That is a cultural.
You make that a cultural thing.
Ben, am I right? Hang on, please.
That's a cultural breakdown in the United Kingdom.
Hang on, please. Ben, am I right in thinking that all your family then were all homegrown, going back centuries?
No, I'm not suggesting that for a moment.
Where were they from?
No, the key thing.
Well, hang on. Where were they from?
My father's Pakistani. My mother is English.
So none of your family are homegrown.
Why are me and Ben fighting right now? What's happening? I feel like I want to fight Ben right now.
Can I just say,
how extraordinary that someone whose father's a Pakistani is preaching to us about the need for everyone to be homegrown?
I'm not saying.
What are you talking about?
No, I never.
He said about culture. The cultures are not homegrown, not the people, the cultures. Integration. See, when people come here from another country and they want to integrate, make themselves part of British life, Britain doesn't have a problem with that. Piers, on the other hand, likes to nitpick at little things he said.
Assimilation.
Half America are complaining about
don't all talk at once.
You've accused me of saying people have to be homegrown. That is completely wrong.
You literally just said it.
No, what I said was we need cultural assimilation. We need
homegrown was your phrase, not mine.
No, I didn't say homegrown.
You did say homegrown.
I never said homegrown.
Well, I tell you what.
He did say homegrown. The cultures are not homegrown.
We're going to play it back to you. Okay, let's get
play
the clip.
Context.
Get me the clip, and when it's ready, we'll play it back. You said homegrown.
What we have set aside in the United Kingdom is a homogeneous, settled British culture, because we have practiced mass migration from cultures that are different to ours, and we've protected and promoted them.
Like Pakistan?
Including Pakistan, Afghanistan, Syria, North Africa.
Is your father still alive?
My father is still alive.
Okay, you're going to send him home?
No, It's not a matter of deporting everyone who is not.
What is it then?
It is a matter of having cultural homogeneity. So we are settled as
Your
a
father
country.
wouldn't be from cultural homogeneity.
But
He's from Pakistan.
the Unite the Kingdom march.
assimilated.
Why wouldn't you deport your father?
Because I'm not going to deport people who are perfectly law-abiding
So you're never
and
going to
respect.
deport anyone.
So
This is
as
why
long
we're
as it's
having
members
this
of Ben
discussion.
Habib's family, they don't get deported.
This is so.
But if it's
twisted.
anybody else from Pakistan,
This is-
they all get sent home.
What we need in this country is a reversal of mass migration, and we need British culture, including our Christian constitutional and cultural roots, to be put first and foremost at the heart of our cultural settlement.
Ben, is
This
your
is
father
where
Christian?
this country.
Is your father Christian?
My father is not. He's not really religious. He's drunk all his life as a Muslim.
Wow.
As a Muslim.
As a Muslim.
Your father's a Pakistani Muslim, but you want people to be homegrown Christians.
I didn't say homegrown Christians. I didn't say homegrown.
You did say homegrown,
Cultural-
by the
How do
way.
you guys not see that modern
We can't,
Muslims
just
are
to be
not
clear to
assimilating
viewers
Britain?
watching.
How
to
do
be
you
clear,
not see
hang
that?
on, hang on.
Play it back.
Hang
Play
on.
it back and
No.
Let's hang on so we can listen to Piers. Hang on.
Just to be clear, technically we can't play it back while we're filming the show.
Okay.
However, we will be posting the clip afterwards.
Great.
I'll give you one last chance, Ben Habib, to admit that you used the phrase homegrown.
If I used it,
yeah.
I did not use it in the sense that you have to be born and
You have to be
of
grown
ancestral
here.
British lines. If I used it, I used it in a cultural context to emphasise the point
Exactly
that
what
we
you did.
need a settlement in this country. Can I just say one last thing? The government of this country defines cultural nationalism as being far right. You can go to the government website, it defines cultural nationalism as being far right. In order to have a society, in order to have a nation, you need a common culture. And in order to believe in, if we believe in our common culture, a British culture, we are now defined as far right.
You're the son of a Pakistani Muslim, for God's sake.
And what does that mean then, Piers? Does it matter that he's the son of a Pakistani Muslim? According to by your own standards, that means he's actually more than welcome here. In fact, by today's standards, he's more welcome here than the homegrown.
What are you talking about, man?
My mother is white, English. Her
So
father.
she's okay?
No.
But your dad isn't?
And I'm okay. And anyone who
What
loves
does your
this
dad
country-
say about this claptrap?
He's absolutely with me.
Really?
As are many,
He thinks
many...
all Pakistani Muslims should be sent home, does he?
That is not what he said.
I never said that, Piers. You're talking nonsense.
You said we should have homegrown people in this country.
No, I'm afraid you've hijacked the whole
afraid
debate.
you did.
You wish to racialise it. I'm not
Oh my
racialising it.
God, man!
You're racialising
You're the
it.
one that used the phrase homegrown.
I am talking about cultural homogeneity, assimilation of foreign cultures into this country if they wish to come here. Otherwise, if you don't buy into what it means to be British, you don't like what it means to be British, you don't like Christianity, leave the country, it's fine.
But this is what's been said for going on a century now. This is what they said to the Italians who first came here in the 20s. This is what they then said to the Windrush generation who came here in the 60s and built the entire underground network in London,
That's a
might I
myth.
just add. What?
That's not true.
What?
They didn't build Britain. They were temporary laborers. They did not build Britain. That's an old trope
So they
that's got to
didn't-
go.
what
Look,
do you
you
mean? If they
morons,
built the
you think we're
underground, then
racist.
they did build
Sikhs
it.
blend in beautifully with Britain. Hindus assimilate beautifully. Every other culture assimilates beautifully. But modern
You just
Islam
said that the Hindus
is
got
not
into a row
assimilated.
over cricket.
And Luton is a
So-
perfect example of that. You elites don't go to these countries. And May 16th
What do you
is
mean by
anti-you.
elite, by the way?
May
What do you
16th
mean
is
by elite?
anti-peers.
Who's elite here?
I mean you. If you don't think that Britain has a Muslim problem today, you're an elite and you don't travel and you don't know working class people and you've never been
You've
to
no
Luton Town,
idea
and
who
you've never
I
been
hang
to
out
Birmingham,
with.
and
You
you've
haven't
never
got a
been to
clue,
Rotherham.
man.
Piers, no one wants to hang out with you.
Go there, use your eyeballs.
I
You
don't think
haven't
you've
got a
been to London
clue
in a very
what
long
I
time.
do or who I see. Have you?
Oh,
You're
I
just
know.
spouting,
If you don't think
you're
that
just
Luton is
spouting
gone,
nonsense.
you haven't been. You have not been to Luton if you think it exists today. It is a fifth post. It is a Muslim city. It is over. It's gone.
it's mad,
It's
isn't
been
it?
written off. It's a
Wow.
Muslim outpost.
A Muslim outpost. Wow.
Go there. You can't arrest a Muslim there, or they'll take over the police
When were you
station and
last
rip them
in
out of
Luton?
jail.
You said
The
so.
cops
When were you
don't
last
arrest them
there? When were you last there?
5 years ago.
Oh, it was
I'm
He
close
said
with
7.
Tommy
You said
Robinson
7 a minute ago. Which one is it?
every year. I was at the Unite the Right rally too. I'm British, you morons.
You're British.
Yes, my mother
why are you
used to shop in
occupying
Luton.
America?
And it
What's
was
your
all
What's your citizenship?
British, American, Canadian.
You can't be 3. You have to be dual national.
That's also a myth.
You don't have
dumb
3
bitch.
passports.
What? Whoa! What did you call
Yes,
her?
you can.
What did you
Of course
call
you
her?
can. I called her a dumb bitch.
Well, can you apologise, please?
I'm sorry, that was a bad word. I
Thank
lost
you.
my
I
temper.
appreciate that.
Yeah, it is actually. I just think, why would you do that?
I got mad. I used a swear word.
You just use a disgusting phrase to a woman.
Shut up, Piers.
What? Have you not been in an argument before? You use swear words in an argument. We're going to dwell on this like you dwelled on homegrown and ignored what's really going on here, which is
I tend to pick
class.
up on things. I think what people say, particularly when they get angry, can be very enlightening. Very enlightening.
I've got to watch this back because I did not use it in any context.
Well, I'll bet you your entire net worth you use that phrase.
I
You're going to take the bet?
Not in.
You're going to take the bet or not?
Not
Yes or no?
So are you going to pay him his net worth? Because he didn't use it in that phrase. He used it culturally. No culture's homegrown. We have British culture, Piers. It should be protected. Stop protecting the others.
Not in a racial
no?
sense. Not in a
it
racial
absolutely
sense.
was.
If I used
in
it,
a racial
it was in a
context.
cultural sense.
Oh no,
Yeah,
no,
absolutely.
it was in a
cultural
racial
sense. No,
context.
I don't.
Because you
I'm
were
brown. I'm brown. Turkeys don't vote for
Oh
Christmas.
no, we found out what you are, which made it all the more baffling why you would
It's
use phrases
perfectly
like
clear
that.
what I am.
Are you calling a
One
Pakistani a racist to Pakistanis?
Yeah, and this is the point about the Unite the Kingdom march. Everyone wants to class the Unite the Kingdom march as racist. Actually,
I haven't said that.
People do say it. They say
I
it's
haven't
racist.
said that.
People do
You
say
call
it.
Tommy Robinson a
They say
racist.
it's far right. It's racist. It's a bunch of white people who just want to deport everyone. It's rubbish. I spoke at the 13th of September. There were lots of different ethnicities present, but they had one thing in common. They love this country. They love its history.
Okay,
they
we've
love its
now got
culture.
the clip. Let's play it.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is great. We've got the clip. We're going to listen to the clip. Let's play the clip, Piers. And are you going to pay the man his money?
What we've got in the United Kingdom is lots of different cultures imported into this country, not homegrown. The cultures are not homegrown. The cultures are not homegrown. That's the point.
Yeah.
The cultures are not homegrown.
Yeah,
I did not
exactly, I
use
got
it
you
in a
there.
racist sense.
You assured me you didn't use it at all.
Thank
Yeah,
Right.
but
Well,
you've
hang on,
taken.
you called it
the
racist.
cultures were. Go and play the clip again.
Yeah,
the cultures were not homegrown.
Yeah, play it again.
I didn't
Hang
say.
on,
Play
hang
it
on.
again.
People calling a
Play it
brown
again.
guy
It's-
racist.
it's
That's
the-
what Britain
it's
has
the powers
become.
of
Let me go to Andrew. Let me go to Andrew Wilson.
Yeah.
Andrew.
He is actually correct here, Piers. He said the cultures are not homegrown. So he's saying that these are foreign cultures which are coming
Absolutely.
in.
Thank you.
That's literally the context of that clip.
Right. But his own father is a Pakistani Muslim. So his culture
Yeah,
is
but-
not homegrown. So my point is
Well,
he's a
there's two-
flaming hypocrite. And he doesn't
that's
want
not
his
his-
dad deported,
Well, that's
obviously.
not his culture,
Because it's his
but that's
dad.
not his culture.
He just wants other
Wait, his father
Pakistani
is
Muslims
assimilated.
I've never,
thrown out.
How is that his culture?
I've never advocated for mass deportations of people who belong in this country, who buy into this country, love this country, are prepared to die for this country. I've got no issue with people like that. The people I've got problems
Nobody
with,
does.
who bring antithetical ideologies to this country and cause us, wish us harm, wish our wives, our daughters harm, and wish to set us aside. I've got a real issue with that.
And what cultures are they?
Their cultures, they are muscular.
Name one.
Well, let me.
Muslim. Well, I'm not afraid to say it. Nobody on here should be afraid to say it. We have a different idea as to how the world works.
Tell you, it's far more nuanced than you might like to think, because you want to have a head-on, absolute head-butting
Well, just name one.
exercise.
Name one.
But
Name one.
if you take lots of people in, for example,
Name
as
one.
this country,
From where?
if you take lots of people in from places like the depths of Punjab, the depths of Swat, the depths of Kashmir, and who haven't had
Pakistan.
they haven't had a brush.
So from
with
where
the-
your father came from, you
They haven't had a brush. My father is an educated man. He got a PhD at King's College,
Right.
King's College, in London.
So which part of Pakistan is he from?
He's from Punjab, but he was educated.
So the depths of Punjab.
If you go to the depths of Punjab, you might
is he
find
from
this funny.
Is he from the depths of Punjab?
If you import barbarians who are not even
from the barbarians from the depths of Punjab, where your own father comes from,
determined to overspeak me and not let me finish my point.
As he always does. Although Piers Morgan is uncensored and he has all these people on to have conversations, what you actually hear is what Piers thinks about it, because everyone needs to stop when Piers is talking.
You import barbarians
from the depths of Punjab
who are not even welcome in polite Pakistani society. If you welcome them into British society and you put a protective blanket round them like we have with progressive discrimination, you are going to damage this country, and that is what we
have done. There is something utterly ridiculous about you taking this strong principled stand against people coming from the depths of Punjab
we have
barbarians when your own father comes from Punjab.
Don't assimilate. His father assimilated. This is a
How
red
do you know his father assimilated?
We're talking about assimilation.
You don't know his father.
Modern Islam is not assimilating in Britain. It's incongruous.
Actually,
in fact, it's in the business plan. It's in the Quran. It says don't assimilate.
I'll bring Ashok in here. My understanding is that the vast majority of the 5 million Muslims in our country do assimilate quite happily. And there are some who don't. And there are some, by the way,
and it's those who don't, who want to end the West, want to end democracy, want to end everything that Britain built, everything that we are as a people.
Those who don't are raping your daughters, so we should prevent
form
that.
of immigrants in our country.
Do you agree that
don't
assimilation
assimilate
is important? Do you agree that assimilation
I think it would be nice if everybody assimilated, yes.
I
would like everyone to get on.
We're not. We're not assimilating.
You're not going to get to assimilation by branding people who come from where your father comes from a bunch of barbarians.
The ones that we are importing
is important.
No, it is. And I'm using it advisedly because we are taking people who are barbarians into this country.
But
if you think
I don't know that your dad's not a barbarian, and the people who are going on that Unite the Kingdom.
I want to interview your father.
They will be racist.
I want to interview your father, see which depth of Punjab he came from, and whether he's barbaric.
Andrew and Gavin are advocating for not separating, making a difference. They're saying deport all the Muslims. So there's a distinction here, and they're saying, oh, actually, a majority of Britain wants that. There's no evidence of that.
We're not saying deport them all. At no point is that what anybody has said about it. That's not even what Unite the Kingdom's about. But we do have a culture, and it does deserve to be protected.
There is an election, and Ben represents probably the most right-wing party in the country.
We are going to have,
and he didn't even get any numbers. So there isn't actually any support for what they're advocating. There's no democratic mandate to deport Ben's father, even though Ben insists he doesn't want to be deported.
My poor father.
Andrew and Gavin have just said they want Ben's father to be deported. Andrew, do you think that Ben's father should be deported in the way you suggested when you first spoke?
Gavin, should he?
Obviously not. We're talking about assimilation.
You said all the Muslims should be deported.
Assimilate. When Pakistanis first started coming to Britain, it was working out. But something changed in the past 10 years. I don't know, maybe because they got more than 10% in certain neighborhoods, and now it is not working. And I don't get how you can't recognize that. That's why Unite the Right had 3 million people. That's why
they didn't have 3 million people. They had 150,000.
No, that's not.
Piers, and you pull people up on lying. 150,000. Really? What I'll do is I'll put I'm going to show you the helicopter footage of the Unite the Kingdom last March. 150,000 people there. I mean, look at that. You oh, Piers, really?
Maximum. They had 150,000 maximum people there.
Were you there, Piers?
I know. Well, let me tell you. I know. I know the biggest. I can tell you the biggest march. I can tell you the biggest march in this country's history was in 2003. It was the march against the Iraq War. I know about it because I was leading the campaign against the Iraq War, and most of them were carrying Daily Mirror, the paper.
Oh, of course, the biggest march in the country had something to do with you, Piers. Of course it did. It did.
Iran placards saying no war, and it was the biggest march, and it was dwarfed.
It was
Tommy Robinson
marches
by about 12 to 1. It is complete
May
bullshit.
16th is probably going to be
you
4
again have
million.
believed Tommy Robinson, who says 3 million people came to his march.
I'm going to put up the picture again. Here we go. Here's the helicopter picture. $150,000 people, Piers. Really? Really?
It is bullshit. Utter bullshit.
I tell you, it's equally bullshit to say it was 150,000.
But okay, let me just make my point. Hang on one sec. Hang on one sec. I want to make a point wider about the rally, though. I think people in this country are perfectly entitled to demonstrate peacefully. I think there's nothing intrinsically wrong with people attending the Tommy Robinson March if they wish to do that. Most of them do so completely
Why'd you tell Glenn Beck not to go?
Hang on, I haven't finished speaking yet. Most of them do so peacefully. That's fine with me, right? If you want to lasso your horse next to
all of them did it peacefully. All of them. The only time there was clashes on the last march is when the opposition, their march, were close to them. And that's the police's fault for allowing the two parties to get that close to each other. That's the only time it kicked off.
Tommy Robinson, absolutely fine with me. But be very cognizant of the kind of person he really is, not the ridiculous caricature he presents of himself in the United States, which is causing this country's reputation a lot of harm, because you're all falling for it. I can tell you, if you walk through London, any part of London, you're not getting a sense of it being overrun by anybody.
It's called Ladanistan. It's known around the world. If you walk through certain parts of London, even the names on the shops are written in another language. In Britain.
London is a great, vibrant
It's not British.
city. You're not here.
It's not British anymore. London's gone.
Where do you live? Where do you live?
I live in New York City. I was just in London. I was there for
I was in New York City. I go there all the time. I love New York City.
I've been going to Britain my whole life.
New York City's crime
does not feel like Britain. You know what London feels like? It
Your
feels like
crime
an
rate
airport.
is immeasurably worse than
London.
London's.
Related to the town.
Right.
No one's British there anymore.
Your crime rate in New York is immeasurably.
You
You have immeasurably more serious crime in New York than we do in London. Why is that? If we're being overrun.
They have guns. America has guns. That's why their murder rate is through the roof. We have knives.
Well, I don't think you want to go near that third rail, but it has to do with race.
In New York?
Yes.
Well, do explain.
Well, we have a major crime problem in this country and in New York City because blacks and browns are on welfare and they're addicted to crack and they have guns because we have a socialist Muslim mayor who's letting them do whatever they want. It's sort of like London, but you guys have knives, we have guns. Guns kill more people. And when Mamdani allows them to do whatever they want and lets them out on bail,
Mamdani's been in charge for a few months.
We have total anarchy.
New York, last time I checked, has had a more
problem for the first time ever.
Mamdani has been.
Piers, for the love of God, just let somebody finish their point before you jump in and spout your absolute nonsense.
Been mayor for a few months, right? New York City has had a far higher serious crime rate than London throughout my entire adult life. What are you talking about? And you've had white mayors and Christian mayors.
We've had socialist mayors. We've had one right-wing mayor, Giuliani, and that's when there was no crime in New York.
Of course there was crime in New York. What are you talking about?
Affirmative action socialism.
Of course there was crime in New York under Giuliani.
No, Giuliani, our annual murder rate went from 2,000 to 300 with Giuliani. Thousands of lives.
That sounds like a crime rate to me.
Because we got a right-wing person. Under David Dinkins in '92, it was brutal, and we're getting back there now. But we have a socialism problem in New York City, and you guys have a socialism and a Muslim problem. And now we're experiencing both with our
the point I was going to make about the United Kingdom march, and let me bring Andrew back in here. I don't pretend for a moment that we have not had a poor record in controlling immigration to this country this century, right? We have had two problems. One, we've had the issue of small boats coming over the channel from France, which has been completely uncontrolled. And we've had between 40 and 60,000 people a year coming in illegally. And once they get here, it's almost impossible to send them anywhere else. And so they've been put up in hotels at expense to the taxpayer. It's caused a lot of social anger and unrest. And it should have been tackled years ago. We've also had a massive issue with legal migration, where under Tony Blair, a Labour Prime Minister, but also then fueled by successive Conservative Prime Ministers, we have allowed too many people to come into the country legally with too many dependents. I don't think these things are contestable. They're just a reality of what we've done in this country. But the narrative...
And it needs to be reversed. This is exactly what Tommy's been talking about and been talking about for years. So you can agree with him on the points, you just don't like the man. So
that we are being overrun by Muslims is untrue. And that is also, I think, a demonstrable fact in this country. And I'm just concerned that the problem with Robinson is that he spews all this stuff all the time. If you look at his social media feed, the only crimes he focuses on are crimes perpetrated by Muslims. And yet the vast majority... hang on, Gary. I'm talking to Andrew. And yet the vast majority of crime in the UK is committed by white people, including sexual crime.
That's because we're a majority white country. This is the whole point, Piers. If we've already got a problem at home, why would we import more? People from cultures that deem these treatings of women to be acceptable, to actually be expected.
Including
per capita?
Including the vast majority of crime is done by white people.
Yeah, but
you'll never believe that looking at Tommy Robinson's feed, because he only focuses on Muslim crime.
Well, hang on. When you say that there's various stats which are misleading, Gavin did ask a pertinent question. When you say that most crime is committed by white people, well, it should be. That's still the dominant racial element in England. What about per capita, meaning per proportion?
My question...
Hang on, real quick, I'm almost done.
Okay.
Is there a disproportionate amount of crime from these immigrants in comparison to the domestic population? That's his question. I think it's valid.
Specifically child...
Well, actually, the vast majority of child is perpetrated in the UK by white people.
Not asking about
per capita.
We're asking about.
Okay, but why does Tommy Robinson? I don't know the per capita number. I'll get it while we're talking.
85% of gang rapes in this country are perpetrated. By South Asian men, according to the Quillian report of 2017.
Well, actually, they were British Pakistani men, to be specific, in parts of the north of England, right?
Kashmir, which was Pakistan.
Yeah, from Mirpur, mostly from
That's
Mirpur.
what the rally's about on May 16th.
But my point, Andrew, is...
It's the per capita rally.
My point to Andrew is it helpful that Tommy Robinson only fuels a narrative that all the crimes are being committed by Muslims, when they're not?
I'm not convinced that that's actually accurate. So it seems I've watched a few of the Robinson debates, and he tends to focus on disproportionate crime rates. What Gavin's talking about here, which is per capita, he's saying that disproportionate to the domestic population that's here, these people are overwhelmingly committing these types of sex crimes. That doesn't sound to me like he's trying to pin everything on Muslims, but rather point out an individualistic and precise problem.
So we have we have the data for you. The arrest rates by ethnicity per 1,000 people for the year ending March 2025. Black, 19 arrests per 1,000 people. White, 10 arrests per 1,000 people. Asian, 9 arrests per 1,000 people.
Yeah, now
That's
do
not-
child.
That's not answering the question.
And
Okay,
the
so now
problem
you want
is
to
that
narrow
they're
it
not
down
getting
again and again and
arrested,
again.
Piers.
Okay, you
Thousands of girls are getting-
asked me to give
What a
you
weird side to pick.
the pro
You're mad at
rata
the guy
numbers.
who's trying to stop
There you
child.
go. Sorry?
You're mad at the guy who's trying to stop child.
No,
and you're calling him racist,
I'm not.
while
And as I
thousands
said,
of girls are getting.
But again,
They nailed a girl's tongue to a piece of wood as they raped her.
Gavin,
they raped her under the Pakistani
Gavin, you
flag.
said
They
this
are
the other day.
branding girls M
Gavin,
for Mohammed with a hot M.
Gavin, I have repeatedly said that where I agree with Tommy Robinson has been on his relentless campaigning against the grooming gangs in the north
That's
of England.
all he cares about.
Hang on, no,
That's
it's not all. It's
100%
not
of
all
Tommy
he
Robinson.
It's not. If only it was all he cares about, but it's not. But the point is, he claims he was the only one who ever exposed this. That the journalists of this country never exposed it, and yet it was exposed
Correct.
originally.
They didn't expose it. It's already been brought out. It was a complete cover-up. The police covered it up. Social services covered it up. The government covered it up. There's too much money coming from these places for them to be called racist.
By a journalist from the Times newspaper. It was a literal journalist who blew the lid off that whole scandal. Tommy Robinson has been
Tommy Robinson is a journalist.
right to focus on the cover-ups, which were scandalous and outrageous. And I completely agree with him, as I would say to his face, as I've told him on social media.
Covered it up. You know why? Because you would rather let little girls get raped than be known as racist.
Why do you
All
say
you care
things like
about
that?
is your
It's
status.
Why would you say such a ridiculous
and
thing?
racist is the worst
So
thing you can be.
horrid.
So you allow girls to get raped.
Why would you say
so
such a
you can
stupid
maintain your
thing?
status. It's demonic, is what it is. I'm calling you guys demons.
Really?
You hid
Awful.
child
But you
rape
sound
while
completely
maintaining your
unhinged,
status.
ironically,
That's
yourself.
what May 16th is about.
You sound unhinged.
So they make up 4%
I
of
am
the
unhinged.
population, but make up 18% of all the people jailed. Piers, what? Am I reading that right? Is that correct? I just want to make sure that I got this right. You said you're going to get these per capita numbers, and
Yeah.
I want them. Like, what are they? What are the per capita numbers? Because what I'm seeing is not looking very good. Okay, it's not looking very good for your side. So what are they? What is the actual
Why
per capita
are you
numbers for these
avoiding
child
this
sex
subject?
crimes?
I find it
Like, why do
extraordinary.
you call someone racist when they point this out?
I've literally just told you the arrest rates for ethnicity, and they speak for themselves.
Well, no, it did.
But not for that particular crime, Piers. You're just sidestepping it again because we know what the result is. We know. You're so scared.
Well, they
When
do.
did you use the word
They
Muslim?
literally
When did
speak
you
for
use the word
themselves.
Muslim?
I'm
did you
not
use the word
pretending.
Muslim?
I'm not pretending Muslims don't commit crimes. So does every other
No,
ethnicity and
rascal.
religion.
Oh my
commit
God.
crimes.
It's not like this
Horseshit
splitting
in
hairs.
there.
I do think if we're talking
That's
about
not
child
splitting
rape,
hairs.
should be
Splitting
a one.
hairs. We're splitting young girls in half. That's what we're
What's
splitting.
wrong
Why
with
would you
you?
say that?
These grotesque
If you've been
things.
around people who have been a victim of child sexual abuse, hearing something like that is horrendous. I can tell you, any victim.
No, you know what's horrendous?
If they heard
Getting
you
raped
speak
by an
like
old
that, you would
Pakistani
honestly,
man.
you would
That's
put them
horrendous.
into a real panic. It's awful what you're saying.
You know what? You just.
Okay, so let's not say it. Once again, let's just cover it up. Let's not talk about it because it might be upsetting for the people it happened to. Do you not think these people actually want something done about it?
Can't handle the truth.
I can handle the truth. I actually
No,
live
you
in the
can't.
UK and I have for years been talking about the grooming gangs. I've been talking about Labour and what they did not do in certain councils. I've also spoken about people like Andy Burnham, who's the Mayor of Manchester. When he was an MP, he was one of the first people to put in a proper inquiry and actually led to arrests of the people who perpetrated these heinous acts.
Okay, so you're a Tommy Robinson supporter.
I think that it's perfectly legitimate to raise issue and raise light on these horrendous crimes.
Great.
But I don't
We're on the same
agree.
page.
I do not agree with all of the nonsense we were talking about before about the Unite the Rally and talking about him actually acting contempt, carrying out contempt of court. But child sexual abuse. I just don't like the politicisation.
Contempt.
He was only brought up in contempt of court because they tried to silence his free speech from talking out about these people.
The court was releasing a
using the language
documentary
that you
about
are
this, by the way.
using, it really is horrendous.
Is there
If you
a
are a
particular-
victim, you'll be knocked sideways by that.
Ava, is there a particular
This is all
ethnic group
class.
that you accept is majority responsible for the raping of underage women?
Well, Ben, let me sit back a little bit
Girls.
and answer that question, because I think that I think that the lunacy of it to me is that any child sexual exploitation or abuse is heinous. And that's the starting block
we all
of where
agree
I start.
With that. But is there an ethnic connection
can I
to it?
finish?
He doesn't agree with that.
The one thing I would stress is the grooming gangs that did coagulate around Rochdale, around Manchester. I completely have investigated this and I've reported on this. There was not proper reporting of the perpetrators because there were, quote unquote, fears in the council that it would be perceived as racism.
That's
an issue at heart. That's an issue at heart that we should tackle as a country. And I'm really glad, actually, for some of the very loud influencers online who have brought this to the forefront. That does not negate the white people in this country who carry out child sexual abuse every single day. Do you know over 50% happens in people's own homes?
Absolutely. Ava, I get all of that. But you touched on a really important point. You said institutions turn the blind eye because of fear.
They did turn a blind eye.
That is institutionalized racism in this country against white people in favor of ethnic minorities.
No, because there's also
that is where this country has gone
this
so
out
wrong.
Every single day, but for some reason, Ben, you can't stomach it to
No,
admit
the police,
that actually there are a lot of white men carrying this out every single day.
I agree with that, but there is no institutional protection of white criminals. There is institutional protection.
There are white men getting off every single day for doing this.
The police turn the blind eye.
And that's what we should be fighting about
together. The police turn the blind eye. You just said it yourself. Police turn the blind eye. Social services turn the blind eye. NHS turn the blind eye. And actually, I think it was either Gavin or Andrew said it earlier, we have a two-tier criminal justice system. We have a sentencing council that is... We have a sentencing council.
You just want to hyper-focus on racism.
Can I just say, we have a sentencing...
You don't care about the rape of young children. You don't care. You care about politicising race.
No, I don't.
If you actually care about child
absolute
abuse,
nonsense.
You would talk about it as a homogenous issue and not simply about one race is doing this, one race is doing that.
Muslims aren't a race.
So how do I get in trouble for using...
There you go, Andrew. They're not a race, it's a religion. Anyone can be a Muslim.
Bitch, and she can say he doesn't care about child. Isn't that worse?
No, that's what you just said.
Because you literally accused all of us of endorsing it. That's why.
Because
you're not willing to condemn it. If you're not willing to condemn it, you're endorsing it.
You hid the fact. You hid this. He's not hiding it. By hiding it, you're endorsing it. By hiding it, you're allowing it to happen more.
You become complicit.
And now you're focused on white rapists because you don't understand per capita.
I'm not focused on white.
Britain is all about class.
The issue,
the working class has had enough of people like you.
Don't feel
the working class had enough of your accent and the way you ignore things because they're not fashionable. Sorry. I'm sorry that recognizing grooming gangs is not fashionable.
What?
What are you talking about, man?
I've just gone
I'm talking about you guys denying that we have a modern Islamic problem with child. That's what these rallies are about. You guys want to diffuse it and say, well, white males do it too, and let's ignore per capita.
That's not what I said.
You're playing it down.
That's not what I said at all.
That's exactly what you said.
That's just not what I said.
You focusing on white males, you're trying to dilute the equation.
My point, which started all this, is that if you read Tommy Robinson's X feed, for example, you will never see anything about white males committing crimes. Why?
Because he's focused on a specific
problem. Exactly, because he's focused on Muslims.
And you're not.
24/7. Oh, I'm focused on everyone and all crimes.
Okay, can you play back your song?
Piers is Batman. He is all-seeing and all-knowing. Piers, you're a penis.
No, it's devoting.
I'm not telling millions of people every day that the only problem in this country is the Muslims taking over, because it's bullshit. Anyway, we've got to leave it there. Will you be watching the rally, Gavin,
on
the weekend? Will you be
I'll
tuning
be there
in?
with bells on, just like I was at the last one, with the other 3 million people.
Right, yeah. Well, okay, why don't we count them when you're there? Because you'll find that
you can just look at the shots.
You'll find you're 2,850,000 short.
I'll show you the pictures.
These are
from
the police figures from the march. 150,000 maximum. But don't tell me.
Same police that covered everything up. Yeah, we know.
Don't tell me.
Rely on the deep
they lied.
state. Let's
the
rely on
police
the
lied.
elites, the
Of course
state.
they would. Why would the police lie about a crowd number?
Because the state hates Tommy Robinson. They're throwing him in jail 10 times for nothing.
Well, hang on.
They threw him in
Speaking of
jail
numbers-
for a
speaking
series of
numbers,
crimes.
We never did get those numbers.
Go look
We
up the
never, I'm just
crimes.
pointing that out. We never did get those numbers. Speaking of numbers, we
They
did
might
ask
have
for
to.
them many
They
times.
might
But I
give us
never
the numbers.
actually got the numbers to demonstrate whether or not there's disproportionate criminality from Muslims
We
in the
will
UK,
get-
especially when it comes to sex crimes.
I will tell you
Just
this.
saying.
I will get those numbers,
We all
and
know.
we will talk about this again. We will get all the pro rata numbers for all types of crime in this country. But the
I look
fact,
forward to you guys catching up to us. I look forward to you and your posh accents catching up to the rest of the world.
mate, no disrespect, but you live in America where I think how many is it?
Yes.
40,
Yeah. You know,
40?
white people are doing it too, you know. It's a general problem. It's all over the place. I don't
certainly
like
is,
you
sir.
vilifying my servants. It stresses them
I
out.
actually think
incredibly.
your accent is a crime. And on that note, I'm gonna round off this
Sod off.
debate. Thank you all very much. I appreciate it.
Have a good one, Piers.
Cheers.
Piers Morgan Uncensored is proudly independent. The only boss
Proudly independent and all about Piers.
around here is me. If you enjoy our show, we ask for only one simple thing. It's
Subscribing to his channel if you want, because you know you get to listen to a lot of Piers talking. But as we saw there, he's got no interest. He's got no interest. He doesn't understand what's happening in the country. People on the ground can see it. We all can see it. I'd like to know what you guys think. Leave it in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe. Catch you in the next one.
If you like this video, then like and subscribe.